Commissioner Helserman,
Here.
Commissioner Domas,
Here.
Commissioner Sample,
Here.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
Here.
Commissioner Drick,
Here.
Commissioner Deaton,
Here.
Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Fiani,
Here.
and Commissioner Gross.
Here.
A quorum is present.
Commissioner Domas, can you please make sure your mic is turned on? We cannot hear you on Zoom.
How's that?
Better, thank you.
Next is the approval of the agenda. Chair will
So-
entertain a motion.
So move, Helserman. Second.
Been moved and supported. Are there any comments or questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? We have an agenda. We have one piece of correspondence here this evening from Branch County. It's a resolution objecting to the reclassification of the Prairie River.
Move to file. Second.
Been moved to place on file. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next is call to the public. My glasses on so I can see the public. I see you're out there. Madam Clerk,
Yes, first is Bruce Hundley from Genoa Township and Ron Staley from Brighton. Is that on?
it is. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Bruce Hundley, and I have the honor of being a member of the Livingston County Spencer J. Hardy Airport Board. For approximately the last 20 years, I've been the chair of that board. Well, no, probably the last 17 years, I've been the chair of that board. At our January board meeting, I had the pleasure of nominating Mr. Ron Staley to be the chair of the Aeronautical Facility Board. And the board unanimously approved and elected Ron to be our chair. I refer to Mr. Staley as the real deal because he's a successful businessman, family man, and dedicated to the aviation, to our aviation community. Ron's a 41-year resident of Livingston County, having raised his family in Brighton, where he lives with his wife, Linda. He's a graduate of Michigan Tech with degrees in civil engineering and business administration. He spent over 42 years in commercial and specialty construction on a large-scale projects with 39 years as owner of a Lansing-based general contractor construction manager, the Chrisman Company. As a senior vice president, he served as a privately held company on the board of directors. I'm reading this. There's a lot of information here. In 1992, after leading the historic restoration of the Michigan Capitol, Ron established a dedicated business unit to specialize in construction services for complex and large-scale historic preservation projects. His leadership abilities led that group to work on Michigan, Virginia, Maryland, and Colorado state capitals. He commuted for 10 years to Washington, D.C. to establish the Chrisman branch office there, serving the federal government with multiple ongoing projects at the Pentagon, the Russell Senate Office, Cannon House office buildings. Ron is a commercial, single, and multi-engine pilot, flight instructor, hangar owner of Livingston County Spencer J. Hardy Airport. He started his pilot lessons 23 years ago in Livingston County Airport and has never left. His passion for aviation and desire to share the airport brought him to help organize previous open houses at our airport. The air show, as you recall, a few years ago was at our airport. Ron did all of that, coordinating that with the Federal Aviation Administration. And he flies an L-39 jet and a T-34, the World War II trainer, right? Korea, okay. So at this time, I would like to introduce to you your new chair of the Airport Facility Board, Ron Staley.
Thank you, Bruce. It's really my honor to be here this evening. And Bruce, thank you. Thanks for everything that he has done for the aeronautical facilities that Livingston County has. As Bruce mentioned, nearly 25 years ago, I started flying at Livingston County Airport and have kind of made that my second home and absolutely love it out there. But during that 2.5 decades, I've been able to see what the people of Livingston County have out there with this asset and the investment that has been made and the changes that have made out there to make this such a wonderful airport. And to continue what Bruce has done and the other members of the aviation board is I've really got 4 things I want to focus on going forward. First and foremost is to protect the asset that we have, that the people of Livingston County have entrusted us with, to make sure that we do everything we can to protect it and enhance it in the future. Second is to do that is to manage the budget that we have. And this is something I'm very proud of because the board takes a lot of pride in having not just a balanced budget, but a budget in which we do not have to ask for any funding from the general fund to sustain that airport. That's a goal we want to continue to administer going forward. What is so unique about that is Livingston County is 1 in 10 airports in the state of Michigan that is able to say they're self-sustaining. And that's something that we're very, very proud of. So third point that is probably one of our greatest challenges and greatest opportunities with the asset that we have is to enhance the investment that we have out there. It's much more than 175 airplanes that you see flying around on any given day or any weekend. We've got some great businesses on this field, and we can start with a 24/7 operation with Survival Flight, University of Michigan's arm out there, which is fantastic to have for the community to have that so close. But beyond that, construction helicopters, CHI as they're known now, and all the operations they have with their big helicopters out there. Few people realize the dozens of people they employ here in Livingston County, and they're sending their assets worldwide. And it's all out of Livingston County. Tie onto that the state's largest flight school that we have with Crosswinds Aviation and others that are training out there. Crosswinds is amazing because they're tied to Howell Public Schools, and they actually have a morning and an afternoon class, 30 students in each one, with a waiting list for students to get there to be able to learn how to be pilots. And as you learn about the pilot shortage out there, Livingston County is first and foremost in the state to help fill that role. Crosswinds is part of that. We have charters that are now operating full-time out of Livingston County Airport. And there's so much more opportunity to bring in new tenants, to lease the land and to pay taxes for their personal property and on the field that can be part of this. And so then the last point is really to do this with a plan, both short-term and long-term, working with staff and with the FAA and MDOT to make sure that the plans that we have and the foresight that we have go back to that very first goal of enhancing our asset that we have. And I'm very excited to do that and help lead that to follow in Bruce's footsteps and everything he's set forth for us to do out there. Welcome all of you, any of you, to come out and visit at any given time and watch. Hopefully the end of May, we're going to have another open house and be able to have you all come out and see everything that we do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ron.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
I say that on behalf of one of our Navy guys right here, over here. And I'm former Air Force, so we appreciate people with your talent.
Mr. Chair, next we have Randy Clausen from Howell, followed by Katie Mikulski.
We have 3 minutes, ma'am. But we're not going to hold you to that.
Here I am again.
Yes, here
Good
you
to
are.
see you all, and I'm so happy to be here and to watch how you work with each other and come up to conclusions. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it on?
Yeah, they can hear you.
Okay. So you know that my concern is the disadvantaged people in Livingston County, and I want Livingston County to be the best county for everyone. And so the things that talk to me are the lack of transportation for some of the people in Livingston County. I don't know, do you know a reason why Livingston County isn't the best county in transportation for the disadvantaged? I don't know that answer, but you might have it somewhere tucked in all the stuff that you see, those pages of agendas that I only get this little one, because I just honor you for all that you look through and study, and I appreciate that. And I hope that together we can come to some additional local funds from you, so that we can benefit then $6 to about 1 to 6 on added transportation. So if we can get some local match going, that would really be benefit. But I'm here today to make sure you all know about the Transit Equity Day that the Livingston County Transportation Coalition has taken on and is offering. And it's going to be on Friday at Torch 180 in Fowlerville. And I already made sure that Frank knew about that because it's in his district. But it's just an opportunity to honor those people who are working hard for transportation in Livingston County, and you've all been invited, and I hope to see you there. But there's a couple other things that I think you might benefit by going to, and one of them is the first time ever, they're calling it the Livingston Link Up, and that's going to be on Saturday morning. And that's going to be an opportunity for professional people in Livingston County to meet face to face and to exchange ideas, to network. And so I'm asking you to, if at all possible, to be there and see who's working in Livingston County and what kinds of things they are doing or needing. It's just a really good time to share what your ideas are, or find out what their ideas are, because it's going to be the professionals that are working, and many of them are working with the people who need transportation. And then again, on Saturday, a very ongoing, often, once a year, the Community Connect, and that's a huge event. And they're going to be there with all the people who need who are receiving services or have needs for services, show up there, and people walk them through and help them to direct them to the places where they can get the things that they need and can understand a little bit better. So will be there too, and showing them the bus and the bus system. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Next.
Katie Mikulski, Genoa Township, followed by West Nakagiri.
Commissioners, good evening. My name is Katie Michalski. We've been introduced by email, and I'm happy to introduce myself in person tonight. I am the new field representative for Livingston County for U.S. Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin of the 7th Congressional District here in Michigan. So I really just wanted to take this opportunity to say hello. As many of you know, and have probably worked with Mona Shan previously, she still is with the Slotkin team. She's moved on to a different role, and I've taken over as field representative. So I just wanted to put a face to a name as we continue to work together, and just also share one of our bigger accomplishments for Livingston County from the previous year, that we were able to bring nearly $3.5 million of federal funding to 4 local projects here in Livingston County. They include the City of Howell, the Huron-Clinton Metro Parks, Green Oak Township, and then Livingston County Emergency Management Services to almost $1.2 million for Livingston County EMS. So we're proud that we were able to work together with our local officials and leaders, and we look forward to another 2 years together. And then with the constituents here tonight, as well as those listening at home, that her office is always available through our constituent services assistance related to federal matters, obviously, like Veterans Affairs, any issues with Medicare. We've helped hundreds over the last year and are always available to assist any constituent. So again, thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to seeing you again in the future.
Thank you very much. And I didn't get your name.
Sure. Katie, Katy. Michalski or Mikulski, it does not matter. Michhalski.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you.
Next.
West Nakagiri, Heartland Township.
Thank you. I just wanted to bring to the attention of the board a news article that you may or may not are aware of. Veritas is a investigative reporting unit, and they uncovered a scheme by Pfizer. They interviewed surreptitiously a gentleman by the name of Jordan Tristan Walker. His title is the Director of Research and Development, Strategic Operations, mRNA Scientific Planner. And on tape, Mr. Walker had said that Pfizer is in the business of directed evolution for viruses. Directed evolution is another word for modifying vaccines or viruses to make them, to change them, to make them more lethal. And essentially, Pfizer was saying that they're going to make money off of that. They're going to have directed evolution on these viruses so that they can invent the vaccine to prevent it and make millions, billions. If you haven't seen the video, it used to be up on YouTube, but YouTube, after 30 million views, took it down. It's an example of censorship, which that's really the point I want to make, is the censorship. Because YouTube censored Livingston County a number of months ago when there was a meeting where we discussed, I think it was COVID-related policy, and things were said by persons on tape that they didn't like, and they took us down, and we eventually appealed and got it back up. I'm going to urge my colleagues to at least give consideration. Do we want to keep doing business with YouTube, posting our videos on YouTube? Maybe we should select Rumble or somebody else that is more First Amendment friendly, and use that as a way to communicate, our videos for our meetings. Anyway, it's something I'll do a little bit of investigation of my own, but I wanted to share that information with you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I have no further cards for the room.
So who do we have on the board?
I do not see anybody in Zoom, so we are good to go.
So we'll close call to the public.
I move to approve the meeting minutes dated January 17th, 2023.
Need to support?
Support Helschman.
Are there any comments or questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, same sign.
I move to approve the closed session minutes dated January 3rd, 2023.
Move, do we need a support?
Second, Rick.
Are there any comments or questions? I don't think we can question those, can we, Madam Clerk? We can? Closed session
But,
meetings?
Mr. Chair, it was brought to my attention that the minutes are reflecting members absent rather than members present. So I would just look for a motion to amend those to reflect members present. And we'll make that change.
I will move that in these minutes, that where it says members absent, that it be changed to members present.
So perhaps I'll withdraw my motion to approve the minutes and then make a motion, or you may make the motion if you'd like to approve the minutes as amended.
I move to approve the minutes of both. I know you didn't for January 3rd and January 17th, both amending them both to say members present instead of members absent.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Next is reports. Does anyone on the board have a report to make?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I think we just voted on the amendment.
No, I'm moved it with the amendment with the amendment. So
we'll try for reports again. Anyone have any other reports for this evening? We'll then move to resolutions for consideration. The first resolution is 2023-01-013. It's a resolution authorizing Livingston County to participate in the 2023 statewide tornado drill. This comes from Emergency Management. And
Support, Helserman.
good evening again.
Good evening. For the commissioners that I have not had the opportunity to meet yet, my name is Therese Cromanti. I'm your Emergency Management Coordinator. I am responsible for emergency management in the county, which includes running our Emergency Operations Center, putting together our emergency operations plan, and a host of other things. Although I do share a building with Emergency Medical Services, which is EMS, I am not part of EMS. I am my own entity as far as a department. So I just want to get that little housekeeping out of the way. I'm here tonight to ask for your support for us to perform the statewide, take part in taking the statewide tornado drill. It will be March 22nd at 1 p.m. This is our first opportunity in the year to test our tornado sirens so long as the conditions are appropriate to do so. And it's also the opportunity for the county departments and divisions to practice their safety response plan in case of a tornado in Livingston County. Why is that important? Well, all you need to do is look at Gaylord 2022, May 27th. They had a tornado. Guess who never thought they would have a tornado? Gaylord, Michigan. The response to the drills was confusion because they are not accustomed to having tornadoes there. Therefore, the response was slow. There were 2 fatalities. It was an F3. There was grave damage across the entire city and right down the business district. Some of it's still there. In 2012, we had an F3 tornado in Livingston County that was coming right down M36 towards Pinckney. It hopped. Sometimes they change paths, and this one did, and it struck Dexter. Again, incredible damage. However, people heeded the warnings. They were practiced, they had plans, and when they heard the sirens and when the NOAA radios went off and when the newscasters were saying take cover, people did, and lives were saved. We just had in Alabama on the 13th of January, Selma, Alabama was basically wiped off the face of the earth. Not completely, thank goodness. There are a lot of survivors, but there were deaths. Again, tornadoes do happen. They're unpredictable. We want people in the community and within our own business here in Livingston County to understand how important it is to not only have these plans in place, but to practice them. Because without practice and without the understanding of what actions to take to protect themselves and others, bad things will happen. People will freeze, and we don't want that. So what we're asking is that you allow the Livingston County, other departments and divisions on the 22nd of March at 1 p.m., when we set out the signal, that they would participate not only with their employees, but also with any customers that were within their buildings. In the past, at the EMS building, if we have people who are training upstairs in our classrooms or we have customers at the windows, we take them with us and we show them how they would shelter in our building for safety. We talk over with our employees what the plan is and the different locations in the areas that we would shelter. So I think it's very important that we do this. I also think that it's important that we advocate that our community do the same for the protection of themselves, whether it's at school, at home, at their place of work, or if they're just out shopping. What do they do? So I just ask for the support of this board once again, because we do this annually since 2016, for your support for us to take part in the statewide tornado drill on March 22nd. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cromanti, but you don't have to leave right away. Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Cromanti? I'm sorry, did I see a hand go up there?
No.
How many sirens do we have throughout the county?
I don't know. I do know that we do have sirens, and I will tell you that sirens are very antiquated as far as depending upon them for sheltering. But we do like to have them because the reasons tornado sirens came into play were decades ago. Many people worked outside, and they are actually an outside warning system. It's good that we can hear them in our homes, but they should not be the fall-safe number one primary warning system that we're looking for. Because if you have a well-insulated house or you're distance from a siren, you're not going to hear it. However, if you're outside playing golf, if your work is in construction and you're outside, if you farm, if you're out in your garden, if your kids are out playing in the yard and the weather changes and there is a tornado warning, you will hear that sound and it will warn you to take shelter, which is what they're for. But I would tell you, I don't know the number. I know we have a lot, but I couldn't tell you the exact number.
But we do have some in my community, but on any given day, when they go off at noon on Saturdays or whatever, you know, I know they're there,
Mhm.
but they don't get to everybody.
Right.
And maybe that's because they are older and they're not as efficient as they used to be.
Well, they're efficient. They're just an antiquated system, which means they're not the number one warning system in 2023. What we do ask is that people watch the weather. We ask that they listen to their news broadcasts. We ask that they get a NOAA radio and sign up for other weather alerts that would hit their cell phone. We also have the ability to send that across through our public alerting. That is an actual National Weather Service that through our RAVE system, that if there is a tornado warning, it would push that warning right to anyone who is signed up for our public alerting. But a NOAA radio is a beautiful thing to have in your home.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, in that most tornadoes seem to come from the west and southwest. Us on the west side of Livingston County depend upon Channel 6 and Ingham County to give us warning. Could you talk about the relationship we have with Ingham, Jackson, and Washtenaw that generally get this weather before we do? What kind of coordination is there between the counties?
Well, it actually comes from the National Weather Service. So Grand Rapids is to our west. Then we are actually within the Pontiac, Detroit Weather Service area. But the Weather Service stations are themselves connected through the Weather Service. So that's where they share that information pretty rapidly. And if they're watching something coming from the west, it's going to be reported in the east because they're going to travel. They're going to go along the travel where they're predicting it will travel.
Because I know that you tell Unadilla when to sound their alarms, and maybe it's already at Unadilla or past by the time you know, if we rely only on Livingston County information.
It wouldn't be me, sir. It would be the National Weather Service.
Okay.
So I'm pretty magical, but I'm not that magical. So.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Is there anyone else? All right. Thank you so much for any time we can be of help to your department and you. You know, you've got a bunch of friends here. So
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you, commissioners.
now we'll move on to the
Vote. Want to take a vote? Got to vote.
Mr. Chair, I have that resolution moved by Commissioner Drick and seconded by Commissioner Helserman. So we just need a vote on that one.
all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Now we'll move on to the closed session.
I move into closed session for the purposes of collective bargaining negotiations and discuss written legal opinion.
Second, sample. Support. All those in favor signify, I think. this is
Mr.
a
Chair,
roll
this
call
does
vote.
require a roll call vote.
Yes.
So Commissioner Fiani,
Yes.
Commissioner Gross,
Yes.
Commissioner Helserman,
Yes.
Commissioner Domas,
Yes.
Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri.
Yes.
Commissioner Drick,
Yes.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
and Commissioner Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, Commissioner, give me just a moment, please, to get everybody into the waiting room. Thank you.
Where's John here when we need him? I'm telling you. It's like Abbott Costello.
You have my guarantee, Sheriff Murphy.
Uh-oh.
You have my guarantee that we will vote on yours following closed session.
And that'll be a fun vote too. Okay, we're back in open session. Ready back? You don't look very happy, do they? All right, we're back in open session and the first item on the agenda, the next item on the agenda.
Chairman, may I make a motion?
Yes, you may.
I move to not take action on resolution 2023-01-14 and allow the employer, the courts, to work out an agreement with their personnel, union personnel, under Supreme Court Order 1998.5.
Support. You want to explain what all that means?
It was relayed to the Board of Commissioners that the board vote in upon the contract, which is between the leadership of the courts and the court personnel, is more so of a formality than a board required action. And therefore, I believe it's pertinent and in order for the board to remove themselves from this negotiation and contractual agreement. And with that being said, one item I would like to address is I ensure and guarantee that I will personally move to have a wage study, a compensation study that will be completed prior to August 1st, 2023.
Are there any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Perhaps,
Do you mind if we roll call that?
No, that'd be fine.
Okay. Commissioner Fiani,
Understand what that resolution does.
yes,
Commissioner Fiani,
yes.
Commissioner Gross,
No.
Commissioner Helserman,
No.
Commissioner Domas,
Yes.
Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
No.
Commissioner Dreck,
Yes.
and Commissioner Deaton.
Yes.
We have 5 yeses and,
Only
oh,
three
hang
no's.
on, Commissioner Smith.
No.
I'm sorry. Okay, so we do have 5 yeses and 4 nos. Motion will carry.
Move that the board go into closed session for the purpose of collective bargaining negotiations pertaining to the sheriff's department.
Second, Chair.
Commissioner Fiani,
Yes.
Commissioner Gross,
Yes.
Commissioner Helserman, Commissioner Domas,
Yes.
Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
Yes.
Commissioner Dreck,
Yes.
and Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
Commissioner
Yes.
Smith. Wow, motion carries.
I'm invisible to her.
Yep.
Well, give us a minute.
All right, we're back in open session, and we'll proceed with the next resolution, which is 2023-01-015. It's a resolution approving the tentative agreement for a 3-year agreement between the Livingston County Sheriff's Department, the Livingston County Board of Commissioners, and the Livingston County Deputies Sheriff's Association, representing the deputies, corrections officers, and detectives. Comes to us from Human Resources. Do I hear a motion?
Commissioner, can you please turn your mic on? We cannot hear you.
I'll move it for discussion.
All right. All right. Is there? Yep. Is there support for that? Anybody? All right. You want to support it?
Well,
Okay. Those in favor signify by saying aye. What are we voting on?
Perhaps a motion for discussion would be
Would not be
appropriate at
appropriate.
this time. There is a motion on the table. There is a support. I would encourage the withdrawal of the motion and the support because we don't really need to discuss this. We just need to take a vote on this.
All right.
I move that we approve the resolution.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't hear you.
I move that well, I don't know, because I'm not
We're
gonna
looking
vote.
for a
I'm not
motion to
gonna, I'm not
either-
gonna vote for it, so I don't know.
All right, so you could,
So
you could-
maybe it'll die for lack of a motion.
Chair would accept a motion to approve or disapprove of this resolution.
It would be my understanding if there was no motion made, then it would
It would
not be able to proceed forward.
It fails for, yeah.
it fails. All right, so there is no motion unless you come up with one.
And Commissioner Hausman, did I understand correctly that you withdrew your motion to discuss?
Yes. Mhm.
At this point, is there any motion on the floor
No.
for purposes of minutes? There's nothing on the floor. The floor is clear.
That is correct.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
may I offer a amended resolution to 2023-01-015?
Yes.
Include the language stating that after the final whereas, therefore be it resolved that the Livingston County Board of Commissioners disagrees with the healthcare coverage providing for any abortion. And that requests the negotiations best efforts to eliminate that clause prior to ratification.
Did you get all that?
No, can I have a copy of that in writing, please?
Yep.
Would it be, Chairman, would it be fair to believe that there was no support for that motion? There was not a second for it?
That's true.
Oh, at least not yet.
Okay.
Here's what I want this therefore to say.
No, that's true. And if it- then it goes discussion, then it dies, and then we'll move on to another resolution.
I'm going to do my best to read this back here. It would be a motion to amend the resolution to include therefore, be it that the Livingston County Board of Commissioners therefore, be it that the Livingston County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the attached agreement asking the negotiation team for the county and the union to make best efforts to reopen the discussion of abortion coverage for some form of compensation.
That is your motion?
That is my motion.
Support?
There's a motion on the floor and support. Is there any, are there any comments? Any comments? Then I'll ask for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Fiani,
No.
Commissioner Gross.
No.
Commissioner Helserman,
Yes.
Commissioner Domas,
No.
Commissioner Sample,
No.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
No.
Commissioner Drick,
No.
and Commissioner Deaton.
No.
Motion to amend fails.
Chair will entertain a motion. Mr. Fianti, Commissioner Fianti, didn't mean to give you.
Not a problem, Chairman. I move to approve a compensation study for the Livingston County Courts that shall be completed prior to August 1st, 2023.
I have a point of order. I have a question. Is that motion in order? Do we need to change the agenda to put it on the agenda to,
Since all resolutions have been voted upon or addressed.
There's no reason why he can't offer this resolution.
okay, I just don't know if that's.
Yeah, I would say point of order. We approved the agenda and we did not include this item on there. I mean, we are going against past practice by, and past precedent by inserting these motions, resolutions that haven't gone through committee.
Chairman, I gave my word. I made it abundantly clear that I would honor the proposed compensation study should the avenue we took regarding the court's personnel, and I'm standing behind my word on that. Proposing this motion. I'm happy to make a motion to amend the agenda. Since we've already approved the agenda, it would take 2/3 vote to amend the agenda at this time, and I'm happy to proceed down that avenue as well.
Commissioner,
Mr. Chairman, I don't know about everybody else, but I'm somewhat confused because I thought we were still discussing the tentative agreement with the sheriff's deputies. I think there was a resolution, the resolution was presented. It was, an attempt was made to amend it, that failed, but the resolution is still hanging there. We haven't done anything with it.
It wasn't moved. There was no motion made on the resolution. There was no support. So it was never on the table. So the motion on the table was a motion for an amended resolution to approve an amended resolution, so.
So that means this evening, this board is taking no action with respect to the deputy's contract.
so far,
Well, it's my understanding, Commissioner Nakagiri, if you could perhaps shed light on this, it's my understanding that by not taking it up, it fails.
Correct.
So it's my understanding that the current motion on the table that's been supported is the motion to approve a compensation study for the Livingston County Courts that shall be completed prior to August 1st, 2023.
I support that. Is there any discussion?
Discussion, yes.
Yes, sir.
You know, if we're going to follow our rules that we agreed to at the beginning of the year, we either amend the agenda or, which would take 6 votes, or we are fast tracking a resolution that bypass committee, which rules allow us to do if we have, and the rules allow us to put it on the agenda, but it takes 6 votes. So.
So we can take.
So I withdraw my motion to approve a compensation study for the Livingston County Courts that shall be completed prior to August 1st, 2023. I move to amend this evening's agenda to include a resolution to approve a motion to approve a compensation study for the Livingston County Courts that shall be completed prior to August 1st, 2023.
Support. Question? Yes, sir. What line item in the budget are you talking that we're spending?
I would, in terms of line item of the budget, I would reference that towards, and I actually have that here. It was 5%. May I have a moment to pull it up?
Certainly, go ahead.
And this is not part of the motion. The courts have sought advanced approval from the Board of Commissioners to set aside approximately 5% of wages for implementation of the court union wage study.
What are you reading?
I'm reading an email from our administration. So it's my understanding, I mean, I certainly didn't vote on the wage study. This is from a board from last year. So this is from an agreement from last year. So I ask you, where where was this money supposed to be pulled from? And I welcome Administrator Byrd to comment.
For the resolution, the language that you'd be looking for is effectuate a budget amendment to allow this expenditure for the study to happen. We don't have a cost on that yet. We have an estimate, but we haven't heard a hard and fast cost on what it's going to take. And so you could put a not to exceed amount, but if that turns out to be too shy, then we'll have to come back and ask for more. But it would be a request to implement conduct a wage study complete by August 1st, 2023. And then an additional, therefore be it resolved to pass a budget amendment to effectuate that action is typically what we do, but we just don't have an amount yet. We think $20,000 to $25,000, but we don't have a quote back yet.
I have a question. Go ahead. And maybe this is not the right time to ask this question, but did you feel that you had the understanding of the board that that was the intention of the board, even though there wasn't a resolution, is that,
Earlier tonight,
yeah.
I thought it was the intention, but if we don't have wording in the resolution, then the intention doesn't really matter. So
Okay.
Efforts to clarify it makes sense. I just want to stress that, we're not even talking about implementation costs. We're just talking about paying for the study right now. Implementation would be a wholly separate conversation later on.
That's correct if you're looking for affirmative.
Anybody else?
Commissioner Fiani, for minute purposes, is there an amendment to include the language to effectuate the budget amendment?
There is not.
There is not. Okay, thank you.
Just so we're clear, right now, there's a motion to amend the agenda, which would require a 2/3 vote. And then there will be another motion after that if this motion passes.
That's correct, and that's my intention.
So we are going to vote on this amendment
Amendment to the agenda.
to the agenda. Everybody understand? So this should be a roll call vote, Madam Chair. Madam
Yes,
Clerk?
I can. One moment, please. Commissioner Fiani,
Yes.
Commissioner Gross,
No.
Commissioner Helserman,
No.
Commissioner Domas, Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
No.
Commissioner Drick,
No.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
and Commissioner Smith.
No.
Motion fails with 5 noes and 4 yeses.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we reconsider our vote for the courts. To reconsider the vote that we took earlier. Because, I thought that we had taken, anyways, that's my,
Want to reconsider the vote that we took on?
on
the courts?
approving the courts, the courts contract.
And what exactly is it you want to do, Commissioner?
Oh, well, it was my understanding. It was my understanding, I think we might need a second to it before I talk on it. I'd be happy to give you my reasons, but I think there should be a second before, otherwise there's no, there's no reason for us to go any further.
He agrees. Is there someone willing to second that, support that?
Point of order,
Yes, sir.
a motion to, and I do look to Commissioner Nakagiri, but I believe a motion to reconsider must be made by one who voted in the affirmative or in the majority on the item.
Our.
A point
Wes-
of order, that is how Robert's rules are, but that is not how our rules are. You know, you can be on the winning or losing side of the issue. We really ought to change that, but I mean, that's what our rule is that. So our rules differ from Robert's rules. So.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. Is it my understanding that there's no support, no second for the
That
motion to
fails.
reconsider?
Mhm.
All right. Are there any other motions that?
I move to approve the claims dated January 30th, 2023, and
We did have a third closed session item tonight, a legal opinion review. So whether you want to do the claims first and then come back to that, or do that now and then come back to the claims, I just want to make sure everybody remembers there's actually one more closed session topic tonight. Sorry.
What,
Yeah, it's on the agenda as discussed, written legal opinion MCL 15.268H.
I move to approve the accounts payable reports claims dated January 30th, 2023, and payables dated January 7th through January 20th, 2023.
Support.
any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. I move to go into closed session for the purpose of discussion written legal opinion.
Commissioner Gross, was that support? Okay.
Question, should we have the final call to the public? Because I think that after this, we have no other items. That would be my only suggestion. Well, we'd have
Have
to,
cards submitted to
we'd
me
have
at
to
the
lay
time.
aside the motion and give the call to the public, because I don't think there's any other business after, but there might be.
But I do
business
have a
after.
motion to go into closed session by Commissioner Fiani, supported by Commissioner Gross. So
Right.
would you like to withdraw your motion?
Right, so anyways, that was my discussion on before we vote. Otherwise, let's go ahead.
I think we should proceed with Commissioner Fiani's motion rather.
Okay, that requires a roll call vote.
Yes.
Commissioner Fiani,
Yes.
Commissioner Gross,
Yes.
Commissioner Helserman,
Yes.
Commissioner Domas,
Yes.
Commissioner Sample, Commissioner Nakagiri.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreck,
Yes.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
and Commissioner Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries. 10:05.
So this would be that.
I see what you're saying. I'll really have to read what the. We need to call.
Motion to adjourn.
What about one more call with the public?
I'd like to address, Rich McNulty spoke to me. No, this is, okay. Is this call to the public?
It is called the public,
Okay,
but, certain things from closed, I'm just saying. certain
No,
things
no,
from
no.
closed section.
no, it wasn't said in close session. That, I would just like to have, he seemed to, thank you. He seemed to say that Marty's, a resolution, or amendment to the
Don't, not unless the board waives the privilege, this shouldn't be part of, we can have discussion with the board, but I'd say it's privileged when commissioners ask questions.
Okay. Okay, I would, in the call of public, I would like to revisit, I just want to let you know, I'd like to revisit Marty's proposal, because I think that it limits, it keeps all of the agreement intact instead of one thing, the abortion issue. And I think we should reconsider it and vote for it. That's my call of the public.
Anybody else?
So move, Gross.
Second, Biani.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'm opposed.
Hearing none opposed.